Hello, everyone. Welcome into the best in paranormal podcasting on a Wednesday. I'm your host, Tim Dennis. It is Supernatural News and Parashare. And big episode today. We have a huge episode today, post 4th of July. So we guarantee that everyone still has their 5 fingers and their 5 toes. On each hand and each foot. Not
all together.
Yes, not all together. That means you've blown off your other ones as well. I'm your host, Tim Dennis, and as you can hear in the background, I have my co-hostess with me. She is our purveyor of the paranormal. I know I promised I'd have Joe's monikers. I don't. I'm sorry, Joe. I have been lax in getting your monikers, but I have my princess of the paranormal. I have my mother of the metaphysical. My supernatural soul sister, here she is, Ms. Mallie Fox. Hi, Mallie. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good. I managed to keep all 10 toes and 10 fingers.
That's good.
Yes, I managed to hold on to all. Although I did not touch a firework myself.
Right.
So, there's that. I stayed digit blown off free. Is that a sentence? I
think it can be.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
I can do this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can still play the guitar. I can still do everything.
So everything. Did you play the guitar before that, though?
No. no, I did. Yeah, I did. Yeah. Not well, but I could play it.
Right.
Yeah. So everything's fine and dandy on this end.
Good.
Yeah. But a good time was had by all on the 4th. Was a good time had by all over there in the Michigan side.
Yeah, when it wasn't raining. But yes.
Did it rain all over the world on the 4th?
I feel like it did.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't raining, the humidity.
Oh, it was beastly, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what the deal was with the 4th, but it we either got extremely hot or rainy or both.
Yeah, I lost a lot of limbs on my trees with the big storms that we had.
Yeah, boy, they came in quick, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
They came in quick. Did you get them in the evening hours like we did here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. In fact, for one of the first times that I can remember in recent memory, a few of our fireworks celebrations were postponed.
Okay.
Yeah. There was one in the Southern Metro that got postponed. It was so traumatizing, Mel. They actually did a news story about it here. Actually, they'll do a news story about anything here. But yeah, they did a news story about what a big pain in the ass it is to move a fireworks celebration, which I had no idea. But
yeah,
I guess there's one company, not that this is interesting to anybody but Twin Cityans. I guess it's there's one company that does all the fireworks displays in Minnesota.
Oh,
I didn't know that.
I didn't either.
No, but they handle up to 500 displays per year.
Wow.
So that means when one municipality moves their fireworks display, it throws off their entire schedule.
Gotcha.
I'm like, that's a pain. Maybe there should be a competitor. So there were 5, count them 5 on the 4th of July that postponed because of weather.
Okay.
So there's 5 that have to do that now this weekend, which throws off 5 other celebrations that were supposed to happen.
Right.
And so on and so on and so on, like the old commercial.
Yeah.
From the 80s. So now we got to play catch up.
Mm-hmm. They should hire our friend Tara. I think she still has her, I don't know, do you call it license? I don't know. She used to do the fireworks for her area. Yeah.
Well, we got to bring her in. She's got to be competition for these guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Although I don't know if it counts if you just hold up a Roman candle and light it at the end. I don't know that that's the same thing. But.
I can do the sparklers. That's as fancy as I get.
I can light a snake on the ground and we can have a whole show. I'll do that. You can hold the Roman candle. You can do the other.
Yeah.
We can entertain the masses.
Yep.
See how fun that'll be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it was a good weekend. I have not heard, okay, so there were multiple mini catastrophes over the weekend that Jess and I were talking about a little bit yesterday. But one of the ones, I don't know if you heard about this one or not, but there was a plane that was hit by a mortar.
Oh, no, I didn't hear about that.
I don't know if it was flying too low or if the mortar went too high, but it was trying to land, and the bottom of the plane got hit. It was a commercial plane. Bottom of the plane got hit on the underside by a mortar. I have not heard of any aliens that got hit. But it would be interesting if one of our alien friends got hit by a mortar. That would be an interesting story. Or if aliens were seen on the 4th of July. I have not heard of any alien sightings yet. That's one of the stories that has not come across our desk. Although we're getting dangerously close. We did celebrate World UFO Day while we were away. We have one or two stories about that today. But we're getting close to that Roswell anniversary now.
Okay.
And with that, supposedly, the other shoe's supposed to drop here, Mel. We're supposed to get some more information about that. Also on today's show, we got a few ghosty stories. And I know you and I were talking privately about one Mr. Jack Osbourne.
Yes.
He's announced a new program.
Oh, okay.
I have information about that today.
Oh, if people only knew what you and I talk about privately. All the stories, but yeah, okay.
But
that's a coincidence because you and I were just talking about that.
He's gone public with it now.
Wow.
Yeah, so we've got that story today, and it's an interesting one for you singles out there who are into the paranormal.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I'll tell you about it. It's coming up, and it's coming out quite quickly. So we've got that story as well today. We've got a story as well today about a man who said he didn't believe in ghosts until he bought his own castle. Now he bosses them around. I find that perspective quite refreshing. I guess that's a good way of putting it. In an unusual story today as well, Mallie, scientists have too much time on their hands. I'll tell you why, and why it involves cockroaches with a diving suit.
Okay.
Yeah, that's coming up a little bit later in the program. And our palate cleanser today involves, it's the best way of putting it. Well, it involves multiple fails, and why your week wasn't or will never be the worst week on record. How you possibly can't screw up more than these two people that we're going to read about in our palate cleanser today. You will do a much better job this week than the two people that we're going to read about today. You can walk away with your head high today.
Good.
That's right. Because these people, boy, did they F up. So we're gonna talk about that today. That's how we're gonna end our program today. But first, let's talk about how NASA might have originally screwed the pooch, so to speak, and maybe they should have just left things alone. It turns out that NASA erased UFOs from photographs, according to a late whistleblower. Maybe they should have just left things the way they were. I think we could have handled it back in the 70s, don't you?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, Close Encounters was in the 70s, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, we handled that movie just fine.
Yeah.
I don't know too many people who ran out screaming. I don't know. A former contractor who worked on NASA photographs had claimed that UFOs were airbrushed from the images before release. The space agency has long been the subject of conspiracy theories concerning UFOs, especially with regard to objects Allegedly seen by astronauts during space missions, one person who repeatedly claimed that not everything was as it seemed was Donna Hare, who was a former contractor who worked on producing graphics for NASA via Philco Ford Aerospace. Hare died in 2021, but interviews in which she talked about potential cover-ups at NASA have been circulating the web in recent years and have sparked renewed interest in the topic. Hare, who worked in the role from 1967 to 1981, claimed on multiple occasions that there was an agenda at NASA to conceal any evidence of UFOs or extraterrestrial visitors. On one occasion, while working at a restricted photo lab at NASA's Johnson Space Center in Houston, she was shown a photograph of a UFO hovering above some pine trees. When she queried it, the technician told her that they couldn't provide any details, but indicated that it was a standard procedure to airbrush out anything anomalous before the photo made it to the public. As tends to be the case with such claims, however, it's impossible to know if there's any truth to it or not. It's possible that she really did have this conversation, but that the lab technician was joking. It's also possible that the truth is somewhere in between. As things stand, the photograph in question has never seen the light of day. Now, there is, in the article I'm reading, some a YouTube video attached to it that has testimony from Donna Hare attached to it. So I'll include the article in the description of this program so that you can see her testimony, so you can exactly see what her demeanor is when she talks about this. So I'll include that as well, so you can get an idea as to whether there's any tone that might be showing if anybody's joking here or not. I don't think she is. I think she's being completely serious. So I don't want anybody to misconstrue anything when it comes to this stuff. I want people to see exactly how sincere people really are being. In their next article, a nearby extrasolar world may be more suited to alien life than thought. A super Earth extrasolar planet is now thought to be a potentially habitable world able to support extraterrestrial life. This planet, Mel, is situated 25 light years away. The planet, which has a snappy new name, they're calling it GJ3378b. So, you know.
Oh, yeah, that is snappy.
It's catchy.
Yeah.
Rolled right off the tongue. Was previously thought to be approximately 5 times more massive than the Earth. At a glance, these circumstances wouldn't seem to make it much of a candidate for life. It's situated 10 times closer to its star than the Earth is to the sun, and completes its orbit every 21.5 days. So a day is really, really long. Because its star is a red dwarf and is much cooler than the sun, this would seem to place it smack bang in the middle of the habitable zone, in which liquid water can exist on a planet's surface. Its huge size, however, suggested that it's simply too big to be a rocky terrestrial world. Now, though, new observations using the Habitable Zone Planet Finder instrument attached to the Hobby Eberly telescope at the McDonald Observatory in Texas have indicated that GJ3378b is actually only 2.3 times the mass of the Earth. So it's not that bad. This makes it far more likely to be a terrestrial world than an atmosphere, or with an atmosphere, rather. This one's exciting, said study lead author Paul Robertson of the University of California, Irvine. 25 light years sounds like a long way, but the Milky Way is about 100,000 light years across. So in that respect, it's our next door neighbor. Sure, but you got to be able to travel there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Whether there's actually extraterrestrial life on GJ3378b, however, currently remains a mystery. It's not like we're going to hop in a spaceship and go find out.
Yeah, true.
Right. So there's that.
Yeah. I got to save my miles.
Yeah, please do. Yeah. I mean, you already have property on the moon. You're doing your part.
True.
Yeah,
true.
You are doing your part. World UFO Day has kind of came and went. I think World UFO Day has already came and went.
Oh.
I don't have my calendar in front of me to check,
Mm.
but generally it falls between June 24th and July 2nd.
Okay.
And as we're
then it went.
Yeah, it should be well past us by
Yeah.
now. But it was celebrated as renewed interest in UAPs continued. The topic of UFOs seems to have become an increasingly mainstream in recent years and shows no sign of slowing down. It's intended to help raise awareness of the undoubted existence of UFOs. World UFO Day is a special event for UFO enthusiasts and researchers, as well as for disclosure advocates who are attempting to encourage world governments to reveal what they know about UFOs. The precise date of World UFO Day hovers between June 24th and July 2nd. And yes, we're slightly late about talking about World UFO Day here, with the former being the anniversary of Kenneth Arnold's flying saucer sighting and the latter being the date of the Roswell incident. Many, however, attribute Arnold's sighting as being the true beginning of the modern UFO phenomenon. Arnold had been flying his plane, a Call Air A2, from Washington to Yakima, Washington, I believe it's Chehalis, Washington, to Yakima, Washington on June 24th, 1947, when he decided to make a quick detour in an attempt to track down the wreckage of a missing military airplane, which had crashed somewhere near Mount Rainier, or Rainier, rather. Failing to locate it, he had resumed his flight eastward when he witnessed what appeared to be a formation of 9 highly reflective objects flying in the sky. The mysterious aircraft were stretched out across an area around 5 miles in what he described as a diagonally stepped down echelon formation. He quickly realized that he was not looking at any conventional aircraft, assuming them to be some type of prototypes being tested by the military. Arnold estimated that they were traveling at speeds up to 1,700 miles per hour, far faster than any known aircraft at the time. Upon landing, he told some of his pilot friends about what he had seen, and by the next day, he was being interviewed by reporters. His description of the objects would lead to the coining of the term flying saucer. Exactly what it was that he had seen that day continues to remain a topic of intrigue and debate. As things stand, it is unlikely that we will ever know for sure what really happened with that particular story. So anniversary Roswell, of course, has passed us now too. Now, supposedly with the anniversary of Roswell, we were supposed to get the big reveal of, were there alien bodies, or the big disclosure. Maybe even a live alien that was pushed out on TV. That has not happened, but there's been other things that have been happening in the world. We got, well, put it this way. Again, we don't normally talk politics on the show, but other things have happened. Supposedly a settlement of the Iran war. There's been other things that have happened in that stead. Had there been further conflict in other areas of the world, you might have seen an alien pushed out on TV, whether it be an alien body or elsewhere. But do you think, Mallie, before the end of summer, do we see a huge update in this whole alien thing, or do you think we're still going to be spoon-fed little pieces?
I think we're going to be spoon-fed.
Yeah. Continues through summer?
Yeah. If you would have asked me a couple months ago, I would think that we would have seen something big, but I think it's going to be drawn out.
After having seen Disclosure Day now, I'm of a mind that we're not getting anything big anytime soon.
Okay.
I still think it's being left in the back pocket for when the administration needs something huge, a huge distraction, just a huge one. And I don't know when that is. I don't know when that moment is, but I think when they do need it, they'll bring it out.
Okay.
I think aliens is that one distraction that they'll just throw out there when they need it. Like I said, I don't know when that is though. The next story I have has to do with this couple right here. These
Okay.
people in time for World UFO Day, the beginning of this month, came out to talk about their experience while they were out getting a takeaway, as they put it. They remember thinking they were going to die
Oh.
when they came across a UFO. Speaking for the first time since a chilling experience 4 decades ago, Paul Jones and his mom, Daphne, reveal how their trip to the fish and chip shop, again, this happens overseas in England, turned into a terrifying encounter with an otherworldly being. As World UFO Day has come and gone, here's a close encounter of the Teesside kind. Paul Jones and his mom, Daphne, were sharing a story for the very first time. They reveal how an everyday trip to the fish and chip shop 4 decades ago turned into a very terrifying encounter with an otherworldly being. You know, when I hear fish and chip shop, I think of the old Arthur Treacher's restaurant. You remember that?
No.
You don't remember Arthur Treacher's?
Uh-uh.
I mean, the only thing we have now is Long John Silver's, but
Okay.
but yeah, I don't know why I remember Arthur Treacher's as a kid, but we didn't go there very often either. Maybe that's the reason why Arthur Treacher's is no longer around. But okay, I've had my little rundown memory lane. Continue with this story. Someone out there is going, yeah, Arthur Treacher's. It's maybe one or two people.
Right, but fish and chips sound good though.
It does sound good right about now, doesn't it? So the story is being told as part of Blaze TV's day of programming to celebrate World UFO Day on a show called We Are Not Alone. And for Paul and Daphne, we are definitely not. It was July of 1981 when the pair left their home on a small council estate in Hemlington. The sun was out and they had decided to treat themselves to fish and chips. It was just your average English council estate, said Paul, who was 9 years old at the time of his extraterrestrial contact. But on their way back from the chippy, the sky filled with unusual colors and a thunder-like noise began, although no storm followed, no lightning, no rain, just thunder noises, Paul said. Daphne said the sky frightened her, and she told Paul to hurry home. They locked the door behind them, and Paul went to the kitchen window, which looked straight down the road. There, he said, a glowing ball was hovering at the bottom of the street. He said it looked as if you took the sun and you shrunk it down, and then the surface is spinning, almost like lava or oil on water with tentacles of light. Daphne said the object then began to move, slowly at first, and then quickly up the road towards the house. She said it terrified her as it bore down on them, adding, and it was like, wow, why? What the heck? This is heading for the house, this big ball of fire. They ran to the staircase, which Daphne said she judged to be the safest place. Paul, despite his young age, feared for the worst. He said, I remember sitting at the top of the stairs thinking, we're all going to die. Paul said the object had seemed aware of them. It felt intelligent and controlled because it was at the bottom of the road there doing its thing. But it almost felt like as if once we all came to the window to see it, then it decided, oh, I'll come and check you out, he said. Well, that's kind of creepy. Like, you go to the window just to see where this thing is, and it goes, oh, there you are. I think I'll come see what you are. Oh, that's no, thank you. After a few minutes, they went outside to look for any sign of the object and found nothing, not even a mark on the garden fence. But the menacing orb had left one indelible trace. Paul said, I remember the chips being cold, so I think there was some level of time change. A little bit of a time slip, if you will. Neither Paul nor Daphne will say for certain what they saw. We're not saying it is a UFO. We're just saying it's a weird phenomenon that happened. It's unexplainable, Daphne said. It was decades before they spoke about it in public, and having other witnesses in the family mattered to Paul. If I'd seen that on my own and I'd had no other witnesses, I would have questioned my sanity, he said. Daphne said sharing it kept them grounded. The fact that we could all, keep it within the family and talk about it, it was good because we didn't sound stupid, she said. Their experience is far from unusual, at least in terms of how often people report such thing. or such things. Preston Dennett, a UFO researcher and author, said sightings turn up almost anywhere, not just in Northeast England. You can name any town, any location on this planet, and I bet you can find a case there, Dennett said. The largest public database of sightings, run by the U.S.-based National UFO Reporting Center, has logged almost 170,000 accounts since 1974, most of them in the United States. Though the reports are submitted by the public and are not verified, in Britain, there is no longer an official tally. The Ministry of Defense stopped investigating reported sightings in 2009 and has not classified any new material on the subject since, passing all of its UFO files up to that point to the National Archives. The year it closed the desk was also its busiest. So why close the desk? That's what I'm curious about. Britain's reported around 600 sightings to the Ministry of Defense in 2009, the highest number since 1978, when there was 750. Despite that official silence, more people are coming forward. Mark D'Antonio, an astronomer and top UFO researcher, links the rise to the recent wave of official interest in the subject. We've seen a sharp rise in reported cases since congressional hearings and so forth, and much of that is historical because people are saying, well, I did have a sighting I haven't talked about. Okay, but now I feel more comfortable talking about it, D'Antonio said. So people are remembering past sightings and they're reporting them. Mm-hmm. A wider review published in March of 2024 and covering U.S. investigations going back to 1945 said it found no evidence that any sighting represented extraterrestrial technology. But the pressure for openness has continued. In September of 2025, a congressional committee held a hearing on UAP transparency and whistleblower protection. And in February of 2026, President Trump said he would direct the release of government files on UFOs, UAP, and extraterrestrial life. Paul said he had kept it to himself for years. I was very self-conscious about how weird I'd sound if I said to other people, so I didn't really tell many people, he said. He links his own decision to speak now to that shift. If you've got people of higher level government positions talking about it, you don't really sound as crazy. There's less of a stigma, I think, he said. Not everyone is convinced that the orbs are anything extraordinary. D'Antonio, who has examined footage of them, said he had seen nothing to persuade him that they behave intelligently. They aren't spelling out hello, he said. Well, maybe they aren't capable of doing that.
Right.
Maybe they don't know English.
Hola.
Hola. Yes, maybe they speak Spanish. You're
Bonjour.
Right. Or French. Yeah. The Joneses are not the only British witnesses in the series. Hollywood said, or Hollywood, not Hollywood, but Hollywood. She's got two names. Thank you.
I went to school with a Hollywood.
Did you?
Yeah.
Was her middle name Hulk and her last name Hogan?
Nope. Her name was Hollywood. I don't know what her middle name was. Yeah.
Interesting. Said she first saw orange orbs as a child in Wiltshire while sitting inside one of the white chalk horses cut into the hillside as her mother performed what Holly said were magical rites nearby. Okay, now if you're performing magical rites, seeing an orb to me is not unusual. Mm-hmm. Right? To me, correct. You conjured magic.
Yes.
Or if you believe in that sort of thing, then to me, it's not unusual you're seeing an orb.
Yeah, conjured something.
Yes. Holly said her mother stood out. My mother was there in her usual magical garb doing something very occult and rebellious, she said. As a child, Holly said she assumed the orbs were her mother's doing. I thought it was linked to my mother's activities because she was a magical creature, she said. Holly said the objects looked like small orange suns and appeared within the eye of the horse. They returned, she said, at significant moments throughout her life. They often appeared at real emotive or transitional times. Passing exams at 11, they appeared. When I met my first boyfriend, they appeared, Holly said. Her interest later led her to a practice known as CE5, or Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind, which the program presents as human-initiated contact through collective meditation. Holly said she would lead groups of people out into the countryside. She said one experience at home was very different. During a meditation session, her dog began to growl. She said she could not move, and figures appeared around her bed. They were not humanoid. They were almost triangular shapes, she said. It's the first I've heard of that, triangular.
I was thinking the same thing. I have never heard someone describe it as that shape.
That's interesting. Holly said she was given a message to stop, and that when it was over, she had lost several hours. She said the instruction had been clear. You have to stop this communication with them, she said. That's when I made the decision not to do as much. So she didn't stop. She just stopped doing as much. Dennett said an encounter could stay with a person for life. When someone has a UFO encounter, it affects them on multiple levels, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, psychically. So this is a really profound, really kind of peak experience in a person's life, he said. And Paul agrees. He said, I got into ufology immediately after that. Paul said, before settling on a blunter word for it, obsessing, you could say. He said, obsessing, yes, Daphne added. And more than 4 decades on, his certainty has not faded. I know that these things exist, said Paul. I know they're really there. Triangle-shaped beings.
Yeah.
That are telling him the opposite of what all this say. That's the most peculiar thing in the entire article for me, is they're telling him to stop communicating. They're not encouraging communication. They're telling him to put a lid on it. You find that unusual?
Yeah. You know how sometimes when they show you like what real angels look like and they're like odd shapes?
Yeah.
That came to mind.
Okay. I'd buy
where
that.
they don't look human, they look like almost not mechanical, but like weird.
Yeah.
I don't know when they sometimes draw, because I always think of angels as like human looking, but sometimes when they show what they really look like, they're not human.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No,
so that's what I thought of when he said triangle.
Right. Well, just the message. Stop doing it.
Yeah.
Right. You're playing with things that you shouldn't be playing with. That to me is a higher power that's trying to protect you.
Yeah.
I mean, that makes perfect sense. And knowing that you're dabbling in something you probably shouldn't be dabbling in. Something's looking out for it. Hollywood. That was Hollywood that was doing that. But it's intriguing, right? You don't hear, a lot of times you don't hear that there's a force between the person trying to summon the UFO or looking for the UFO and the UFO itself. A lot of times you hear the whole, they're innocent and we're innocent and it's all love and light. And if we just use our heart and open up our heart to love, and they'll just come down and everything's hunky dory. You rarely hear, nope, there's this other force that came in and went, ooh, nope, put the brakes on, pump those brakes.
Yeah.
That's very rare. That makes you wonder. It makes you wonder if Hollywood was on the wrong side of things.
Yeah.
Like maybe she was summoning something other than a UFO. And what she was calling forth wasn't a UFO. And maybe an angel did come in and say, hold on. You probably want to stop doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting. The next story I have, it's kind of interesting. Okay, so we're going to talk planetary stuff here for a brief moment again. We're going to talk about the sun in the next couple of stories because there's some interesting things that are being done with the sun. You know, when we talk about everything from just the sun in general and what we're doing with it as far as fuel sources, you talk about the sun and what we shouldn't be doing with it. You know, we have so many satellites surrounding the planet that we're almost blocking out the sun, right? Or we can be blocking out the sun. You talk about what we do with the environment and how it's, you know, with the ozone layer, sometimes we're making the sun a little more powerful than what it is. You look at skin cancer rates,
Mm-hmm.
and how skin cancer rates are up and whether we're protecting ourselves from the sun. There's an interesting story this week, Mallie, that the Earth may survive the death of the sun after all.
Oh.
According to a new study. I didn't know we were talking about the death of the sun.
Yeah, I
In
didn't
our
either.
lifetime, right?
Yeah.
When our star becomes a red giant in the distant future, many scientists believe that it will engulf and destroy the Earth. While the sun is only around halfway through its life as a main sequence star, exactly what will happen to it in the future has long remained an important topic of study. Now, our star is 4.6 billion years old and will continue for another 4 to 7 billion years. But eventually, once the fuel or the hydrogen in its core is used up, it will undergo some major and destructive changes. At this time, it will begin to grow enormously, expanding to many times its current size and engulfing the inner planets of Venus and Mercury. So I guess we're not moving there, effectively destroying them. Now, the biggest question, though, is whether or not it will expand enough to engulf the Earth as well. Previous studies had generally suggested that it would probably do so, but now a new analysis has found that the forces at play might just make it possible for the Earth to escape destruction. While the sun's tidal forces will pull our planet toward it, the shedding of its outer layers will reduce the gravitational pull. So determining what will happen depends on how these forces balance out. Eventually, the sun will shrink down and become a white dwarf, a much smaller stellar body that will continue to produce heat, though far less, for trillions of years. Whether the Earth is engulfed entirely by the red giant phase, however, may be ultimately irrelevant, as the surface conditions on our planet will make life all but impossible by this stage. Then, even if life has survived that, once the sun becomes a white dwarf, the Earth would freeze. Given that humans will have likely either been wiped out or evolved beyond recognition by then anyway, it's not something that we're going to ever need to worry about one way or the other. Well, speak for yourself. Maybe I'm going to reincarnate like a bunch of times and I'll be there.
Yeah.
Then what do I do? Yeah. I'm just trying to be optimistic here.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I am going to be there. How do I survive that? I got to have a plan, Mallie.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'll have this really bitchin' spaceship I can take off in. I got to have a plan.
Better start now.
I better start now. That's right. Maybe I'll call up Elon Musk and get one of his. Oh, no, wait. He's always blowing up spaceships. Never mind.
Yeah.
Our next story has to do with a plan to dim the sun. Here's the only problem with that, though.
Mm-hmm.
If we dim the sun, it could choke out airline passengers with toxic chemicals. I don't know about you, but I tend to like to fly the friendly skies without being choked out by toxic chemicals.
Yeah, that would be nice. There's already issues of flying.
There is, yeah.
Especially when you have the middle seat.
Right. There's already some toxic chemicals if you're stuck between. A proposed method of tackling global warming could have devastating consequences for airline passengers and crews. Climate change remains a hotly debated topic, and with temperatures rising across the world, some scientists have proposed radical new ways to cool things down. Oh, let's not go there. One of the proposed climate intervention schemes is to emulate large volcanic eruptions by producing a cloud of sulfuric acid droplets in the stratosphere to reflect sunlight and cool the Earth. Professor Alan Robach of Rutgers University told Mail Online. It's probably one of the worst ideas ever. There are, however, some very significant drawbacks associated with that idea. According to researchers, this technique would effectively render parts of our atmosphere toxic, meaning that airliners, for example, may find themselves flying through clouds of sulfuric acid, which can't be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, can't be good for the plane, I can't think. Such exposure would undoubtedly prove hazardous to the passengers and crew. Because there's no rain in the stratosphere, the atmospheric layer above the above the troposphere, where we live, the droplets would last 50 times longer than surface pollution. Then why do it?
Yeah.
Solving the issue of climate change, it would be fair to say, is unlikely to be realistically achieved by poisoning our atmosphere with even more chemicals and pollutants. Then why even suggest it? You know, sometimes scientists aren't bright, and we're going to find that out later in the program. They're like, what if we just threw this poisonous spaghetti against the wall and see what happens?
Mm-hmm.
Just because we can. We're not going to be here in 100 years. Yeah. Speaking of weird stuff in the atmosphere and elsewhere, we'll go to Queensland for this last story before our break. Because in Queensland, they found Spaceballs, and not the movie,
right,
on a beach in Queensland.
Oh.
Yeah. Several mysterious objects thought to be space debris have been gaining attention recently in Queensland, Australia. According to local police, the objects which were discovered washed up along the Forest Beach area of Townsville are suspected of containing hazardous chemicals. Some of the debris is spherical in shape, prompting numerous comical references on social media to the movie I just mentioned, Mel Brooks's Spaceballs. Yeah. Can you name any lines from the movie Spaceballs?
No, but I know people that can quote like a bazillion lines from it.
I'll give you one because it's on the beach. They're combing the sand with the giant comb. Anyway, combing the sand for Spaceballs.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I thought it was hilarious. It's okay, Mel. You don't have to laugh. The Queensland Fire Department was involved. That's all right. The Queensland Fire Department was involved in the operation to recover the objects, with 6 found in total so far. 6 whole balls in the sand. You know, you'd find more than that if you had a couple of guys out there in their banana hammocks. Though it is possible for more than that to wash up in the future. Just 6 so far. Officials were keen to emphasize that the debris did not pose a risk to the local community, but also noted that the nature and origin of the objects are still being determined. Flinders University space archaeologist Professor Alice Gorman maintains that the lack of scorch marks on the objects, you don't want to scorch your balls, especially if it's coming from space, suggests that they were probably part of the first or second stage of a rocket. Oh, great. Just blame Elon or Jeff Bezos, one or the other. They look to be consistent with what you would find as part of a fuel system, she said. They are pressurized fuel vessels made of titanium alloys with a very high melting point. They're actually known as Spaceballs, and they can be found years after a launch. So go ahead and find your favorite billionaire or millionaire and point your finger right towards them. They're probably guilty of said Spaceballs. Yeah, Spaceballs. Fun. Till Daddy took our rockets away. Let's take our break. When we come back, got a couple of different stories for you. We'll tell you why the UN is seeking a ban on all AI killer robots. Good news! In the AI section today.
Yay!
Also, we will talk a little bit about. We've got a couple of ghost stories. One, we'll talk to you about the new paranormal show that Jack Osbourne has coming out and why it involves your dating life. That's coming up next. We'll talk about the man who, in order to get over his fear of ghosts, had to buy a castle.
Okay,
that's coming up as well. Also, the other part of Scientists Are Just Plain Dumb is coming up in the next part of our show. Scientists in Singapore have created a cyborg cockroach with a diving suit. We'll tell you all about that and why they had to go to that extreme. And for our palate cleanser today, you can't have screwed up any more than the two people we'll talk to you about in our palate cleanser. I will repeat. You are doing just fine in life.
Good.
You can't have screwed up any more than the two people we'll talk to you about in today's palate cleanser. You'll find out why you're just fine in today's palate cleanser. All that and more supernatural news and Parashare today. But first, before we go to break, let me tell you about the wonderful specials out at Jelly Bean and Julia's, our sponsor today here on the big program. And of course, let me tell you folks something. If you are looking for a great place, not only to go get something to eat, but also have a great place for great entertainment, a place where you have great friends to hang out with, a place that you can just call your own. Jelly Bean and Julia is over in Coon Rapids, Minnesota on Coon Rapids Boulevard. It's a place for you. These are your specials for the rest of the week. They do include, for your happy hour, 25% off all appetizers. That excludes your appetizer sampler, half price off all single pour well drinks, half price off your Mick Golden Light and Coors Light taps, half price off domestic cans and bottles as well. For Friday, of course, oh, Mel, the smoked prime rib dinner. Let me tell you, every single week, this dinner gets better and better and better. Mm-hmm. If they put me on death row, Mallie, I want you to call Corey over at Jelly Bean and Julia's. Okay. I want you to tell him to fire up that gorgeous walk-in smoker over there at Jelly Bean and Julia's. Tell him to get me the 16-ouncer. Get the tequila berry salad with that sweet and tangy dressing, the bacon bits, everything, that classic tequila berry salad ready for me. Tell him to get that Texas toast going. And lastly, that Boston baked potato. Deep fried in that avocado. Loaded sour cream, bacon bits, butter. Get it all ready for me, Mel. It's going to be my last meal. I could taste it already. And you know what? I want the creamy horseradish with the smoked prime rib. I can taste it already.
Mm-hmm. Do they do desserts?
Oh, do they do desserts? They have churros over there now. Oh. That are amazing. I'll take churros for dessert too.
I like churros.
Mm-hmm. They have a dark chocolate sauce on the churros too, which is amazing. But let me tell you this, Mel. Mm-hmm. I'm going to throw a little something at you with this too. There's a little added bonus that I haven't told everybody about yet that I'll throw in right here, right now. With that smoked prime rib dinner, even the au jus for the smoked prime rib is smoked. One of the top 5 meals you have all time, I'll guarantee it. I have a picture on my social media of the actual meal. So you can go take a look. See what you're missing. It's amazing. 12 and 16 ounce portions. You choose. Go big or go home. That's what I say. Mm-hmm. Go big or go home. I'll go 16 ounce. That's what I do.
Do you want to waddle out or be wheeled out?
That's right. That's right. There you go, Mal. But it's absolutely perfect. Go 4:30 is when they start serving over there. Get there early because they serve until it's gone. So get there early. Also on Sundays, breakfast at Jelly Bean and Julia's is served only on Sundays. Be sure to get there early for that as well. Great, great breakfast over there. It's more like a brunch, but it's breakfast over at Jelly Bean and Julia's. They've got amazing menu items over there. There's always something new over there. And of course, on Saturday nights, you've got live entertainment. Always someone over there who's going to knock your socks off with live entertainment at Jelly Bean and Julia's. You want to know more? JellyBeanandJulia's.com. Link is in the description of this program. JellyBeanandJulia's.com on Coon Rapids Boulevard in Coon Rapids. Go over there and find your new place to hang. Jelly Bean and Julia's. All right, when we come back, you want to get over ghosts? Buy yourself a castle. You want to find someone new? Tune into this new program that Jack Osbourne has coming up. want to find out just where you are in life, tune into the end of the program. It's probably in a lot better place than these people. All right. It's all next right here on the best in paranormal podcasting. This is Darkness Radio. Welcome back to the best in paranormal podcasting. This is Darkness Radio on a Wednesday. Supernatural news and Parashare with your buddies Tim and Mallie. Hi, Mel.
Hello.
You know, before we get started with the second part of this whole shebang, this whole deal, this thing we call supernatural news and Parashare, I got to tell you, I'm a little worried about the chipmunks. I haven't done a chipmunk update in quite a while.
Okay.
I have seen Pip lately, but not much. Pippers is a little shy. But I haven't seen Spud a lot lately. I don't know what's going on with her. I'm a little worried about my chipmunks.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think I know why now.
Okay.
I need a little advice from my people out there, my nature people. We have a wild tomcat in the neighborhood.
Oh.
Yeah. And we also have, if you're ready for this, our how do you put it? The dog catcher, so to speak, in our neighborhood is not the dog catcher, it's the Anoka County Sheriff.
Okay.
They're not very good at their job because they have other things to do.
Uh-huh.
So basically, the neighbor called the sheriff the other day, and they came out and just stared at the cat. They tried to chase it through a couple of yards, but it didn't do anything. Yeah, but nobody knows if this cat belongs to anybody. But it's huge. This cat looks like it's the size of like 2 or 3 cats.
Oh, wow.
I caught this thing on I have like a little nature cam that sits on my front porch so I can see the birds and the different wildlife eat out of one of the dishes. Well, I caught this thing at 3:30 in the morning and it was stalking the dishes.
Oh.
So it's hunting. I think this thing runs wild.
Okay.
I don't think it has an owner.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
There's no collar or anything on it?
No, I don't see a collar on it at all. I don't think it's chipped either.
Okay.
So I want suggestions from our audience. What do you do to turn this thing in humanely and safely? I'm talking about the cat. Because obviously it's wild. I mean, at least it is to me. I've been dealing with this cat now for a couple of years.
Okay.
This isn't my first run in with it. It's not like this thing is new and it's just shown up. It's been in the neighborhood for a few years. And it's been going through people's backyards. And it's not stopping to eat. We've tried to, for lack of a better term, we've tried to trap it by trying to feed it and then have the animal people come out, which is the sheriff. Keep that in mind. And it's not their first priority to come out and get this animal. But we've tried to feed it and hold it. We even had one neighbor actually trap it in its garage and have the sheriff come out to get it. But it's pretty wily. It knows how to get away. But what are your suggestions? That's what I'd like to know. Do you guys have a suggestion as to, and keep in mind, this is like not just a regular little tabby. This looks like, I mean, this cat is probably, if you see how on video, how I'm holding my hands apart, this thing's probably 2.5 feet long. I mean, it looks like a small tiger.
Right. It's like those, is it Maine Coon or something like it? It's the type of cat where they're huge.
Yeah, it's an orange and white cat, but it's huge. It sits like a small dog, like a medium-sized dog, I should say. It looks like a medium-sized dog. And it sees you coming.
Yeah.
It's got wild instincts. And I've gotten close, but not too close to it.
Right.
I've tried to just talk to it and talk it in, but it won't get anywhere near you.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm interested to see what people think.
Right.
I try to get it close just to try and feed it something,
Right.
but it won't engage.
Yeah, because if it's been wild this whole time, it might be hard to domesticate it.
Yeah. I don't think it is domesticated. But it very much it sits in the like I've watched it in my backyard, sit in the backyard looking at birds trying to get it's trying to look for a lame
Yeah.
bird. I've seen it try to go after field mice,
Mm-hmm.
things like that, because my yard butts up against the highway, which also
Okay.
butts up against a field. So field mice come over. So
Mm-hmm.
it's looking for mice. Lots of I mean, it's very much a hunter killer predator.
Yeah.
So it's eating well. You could tell it's very muscular. It's a very muscular cat.
Uh-huh.
There's not a lot of fat on this cat.
Mm.
So, but yeah, how most house cats have a little paunch to it or whatever.
Yeah.
This cat does not have a paunch to it. It's very muscular. So it's very interesting. So, yeah, but I'm curious as to if anybody has experience with this type of a wild cat before. That's a full grown, not only a full grown adult, but a full grown adult in its prime. That's a hunter. What do you do to properly,
Yeah.
it's hard to, and I'm not one to, not at my age
Right.
to do anything dastardly to it. I, you know, I believe in live and let live, but at the same time, it's kind of the top of the food chain in the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
wiping out probably more than it should. It's
Mm.
become invasive, put it that way.
Wow.
Yeah. So, with that in mind, speaking of invasive, we should talk about something else that's a little invasive. Let's get to our AI segment, shall we?
Mm-hmm.
When we talk about invasive, it seems that the UN chief has recognized AI as killer robots. It's true, Mal. I'm not making this story up, folks.
Mm-hmm.
When I saw this story, my eyes just about popped out of my head. Artificial intelligence weapons are killer robots that should be banned by international law. This, according to UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres. He said this Monday. Speaking at the opening of the first global dialogue on artificial intelligence governance in Geneva, Guterres warned that rapidly advancing AI is outpacing government abilities to regulate it, and argued that autonomous weapons capable of selecting and killing targets without human oversight have crossed a moral line. Guterres said, "My main concern with lethal autonomous weapon systems, let's call them what they are, killer robots. Machines selecting and engaging their target and taking life without human control and judgment, that is morally repugnant. It is politically unacceptable, and it must be banned by international law." The UN chief urged governments not to wait for an atrocity to act, insisting that decisions over taking human life must remain forever human. Guterres's remarks come as artificial intelligence is becoming increasingly integrated into modern warfare, with militaries using AI-powered software for intelligence analysis, battlefield planning, and targeting assistance. Defense companies and military leaders argue AI can help commanders make faster, more precise decisions while maintaining meaningful human oversight. According to the Wall Street Journal, the debate intensified earlier this year after AI developer Anthropic sought assurances that its technology would not be used in autonomous weapon systems, while the Pentagon maintained it should be able to use commercial AI for lawful military purposes. Pope Leo XIV also recently called for a ban on AI-controlled weapons, warning they could make war easier to wage by reducing political and human costs. Critics of autonomous weapons contend AI systems remain prone to errors and should never be allowed to make life and death decisions without direct human judgment. Beyond military applications, Guterres warned that AI is advancing at runaway speed, saying the technology is being deployed faster than anyone, including the people building it, can keep up. He called for global standards governing advanced AI systems, arguing that innovation needs guardrails and that countries should establish common methods for testing AI, measuring risks, and assigning responsibility. The Secretary General also proposed an AI child safety pledge that would require companies to prove systems are safe before making them available to children, prohibit AI-generated child sexual abuse imagery, and ensure distressed children are connected to human support rather than chatbots. All good ideas. Guterres cautioned that AI's development is increasingly concentrated in a handful of companies and nations, raising concerns that developing countries will be left behind while the technology reshapes economies, labor markets, and national security. The two-day Geneva conference brings together representatives from all 193 UN member states to discuss international AI governance. By the way, no binding treaty is expected during this conference. Organizers hope the talks will lay the groundwork for future global standards as governments grapple with balancing innovation, economic competitiveness, and growing security concerns over artificial intelligence. So a lot of talk right now, but no action. All right. Meanwhile, with that story comes a story that terrorists could use AI to create killer disease and unleash a new global pandemic. So happy stuff. Just saying, little happy news. Experts warn that AI is becoming so powerful that it could help extremists engineer viruses that spread faster, cause more severe illness, and are harder to treat than naturally occurring diseases. Terrorists could use AI to create a killer superbug capable of unleashing the next global pandemic, according to different ministers. Experts warn AI is becoming so powerful it could help extremists engineer viruses that spread faster, cause more severe illness, and are harder to treat than naturally occurring illnesses. Once the genetic blueprint has been created on a computer, the synthetic DNA could then be ordered from a laboratory and potentially used in a biological attack. The chilling prospect has sparked fears of another COVID-style catastrophe if such a pathogen was deliberately released. Ministers are now considering tightening controls on the sale of man-made DNA amid growing concerns the technology could fall into the wrong hands. The alarm comes after bosses of some of the world's biggest AI companies urge politicians in the U.S. to clamp down on synthetic DNA sales. They warn the latest AI systems can now outperform PhD-level virologists when designing biological agents, making it far easier for criminals or terrorists to develop dangerous new pathogens. Similar concerns have also been discussed by national security and technology officials in Britain. While labs are advised to carry out checks on customers ordering synthetic DNA and verify they have a legitimate reason for buying it, there's currently no legal requirement for those checks to take place. That in itself is scary. The government said it was keeping the threat under close review. A spokesman said the UK was the second country in the world to publish guidance on screening who should be able to buy synthetic DNA and the DNA sequence they are ordering, but we are not standing still. We are monitoring the risks posed by emerging technologies closely, actively weighing at all times what more may be needed. There you go. So there's that story there. All right. And finally, today, the biggest threat of all today, Mallie, is this. the threat to Hollywood.
Okay.
And not Hollywood from the previous story.
Right.
AI actor Tilly Norwood is set to star in her first feature film. You can hear the extreme outrage coming from California as we speak. AI-generated actor Tilly Norwood is set to make her big screen debut, starring in the film Misaligned from the studio that created the polarizing digital thespian, UK-based Particleo, which describes itself as an AI-first and AI hybrid developer of movies and TV programming, announced on Monday that it'll begin developing the film, in which Norwood, who is not a sentient being, will take the lead.
Oh, wow.
This is exactly what the strike was about.
Yep.
A couple of years ago. Particleo founder Eline Vandervelden, herself a former actor, unveiled Norwood to the public in 2025 after her team at the studio developed some 2,000 iterations of the AI tool and gradually taught her to act. Particleo describes the forthcoming film, which is set in what the studio calls a surreal digital world located somewhere up in the cloud, as a coming-of-age story infused with existential AI chaos. The plotline is self-referential, Norwood playing an AI being with no lived experience but access to other humans' childhoods and backstories. Do we really want an AI movie about an AI being that has trying to find its way in the world?
I know, it's kind of weird.
By the way, if you've never seen what Tilly Norwood looks like, if you're watching the video, this is what she looks like here.
Wow.
I mean, that there was, do you remember the little bit of fascination about her when she first came out?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Vandervelden said the studio's goal is to demonstrate AI's capabilities to the film industry and to the wider public. The studio will produce the movie using traditional film professionals, including directors, writers, and editors, as well as AI specialists, according to Particleo. The film, it says here, will be absolutely funny, chaotic, and self-aware, very Tilly, she said in a statement. But underneath it, there's something deeper about identity, performance, and our very human fears around AI. And yes, art will most definitely be imitating life. Vandervelden also said she wants to prove that AI can support premium narrative filmmaking, but only with substantial amounts of human craft, skill, judgment, and time. That's not a limitation of technology. That's the point. Now, before this comes out, we, of course, will have the first true AI lead in that Val Kilmer will come back from the dead, so to speak, and his AI lead, and I don't remember the name of the movie, forgive me, but he'll be brought back in different ages, and in different stages. And again, let me see if I can look up the name of that movie real quick. But I think that comes out Christmas of this year. But that movie, to me, that looks somewhat interesting. I think. Let me see if I can pull this up here. Yes, it's called As Deep as the Grave is the name of the movie.
Okay.
And he comes back to play Father Fenton, a Catholic priest, and he plays Father Fenton in different stages of his life. The release date, I think the release date is supposed to be Christmas of this year, if I remember right. At least that was supposed to be the release date. That was the last release date I saw. I think that is probably, that's going to be the litmus test, right? That's going to be the first toe in the water as to whether the public is ready to accept this type of thing. And I know it's signed off by the Kilmer family.
Okay.
They're all for it. And they want to see it. I think it's not the first time we've seen this, obviously. It was, the Star Wars franchise did this with Carrie Fisher. And they did an AI version of Princess Leia after Carrie Fisher had passed away. Although it was pretty easy to spot that it was AI because the technology hadn't really developed very well. But the stuff with Val Kilmer, this is a picture of Val Kilmer from the movie.
Oh, wow.
That's pretty darn good.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. You can't tell that that's not him. And he's not with us.
Wow.
That looks like a brand new shot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, that pretty much tells you that that this could be interesting. There's new vocal, there's new everything. There's another controversy too that I saw this past week. And again, I'll mention this and then we'll move on. There's a huge controversy having to do with a new contest having to do with Willy Wonka. Have you seen this?
No, I haven't.
Let me see if I can pull this story quickly. Gene Wilder's voice has been used for a contest for Willy Wonka. And it's Netflix partnered with AI firm 11 Labs to create Gene Wilder's voice for the competition series Wonka's The Golden Ticket. And it's got some people up in arms. They've become upset about it. And you can see the trailer online for it. And it's innocent enough because you see like a golden ticket being produced and you hear Gene Wilder's voice actually doing the promo for the show. Now, to me, okay. Not entirely unusual, but you have to keep a few things in mind. And this is when I was watching the story for this, I had to keep it in mind too. And a very good point was made. Gene Wilder did not like Johnny Depp's version of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Was it too out there for him? It was very different.
It was very different. And the original author of Willy Wonka did not like Gene Wilder's version.
Oh, okay.
So we have to keep these things in mind. So interpretation is really subjective, right? Although we look at everything and we go, do we really agree with what things are being done? And although people kind of clutch their pearls at what's being done with someone's voice, I want you to keep this in mind. The fact that Gene Wilder's voice is recreated by 11 Labs for this golden ticket on Netflix, which premieres, by the way, on September 23rd. It was given with the blessing of Gene Wilder's widow, Karen Wilder. So there's permission given. And obviously the estate profits from it.
Right.
Does that mean it's all bad? Do we then give it a pass because it's simply a promo?
Right.
I don't know. Would Gene Wilder think it was all that bad? I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
And it's becoming more and more accepted.
Yeah.
Is it?
It didn't bother me when the people passed away and they needed to finish the movie. I mean, I understood.
Right. For new projects?
Yeah.
Having to do with an existing character that they already played, though?
Yeah.
Is it that far of a stretch?
I just feel bad for actors. I mean, I guess getting jobs is already hard, and then you've got to compete now with AI.
But for someone who's been typecast in something,
Yeah.
I'll give you an example. I'll give you a good example. Let's say, God forbid, Mark Hamill leaves us,
Okay.
and you want to do the further, and they've already kind of already done this because they did this on The Mandalorian. Even though I think it was Sebastian Stan's body or somebody else's body, they they superseded Mark Hamill's de-aged face over him. And we got to see a younger Luke Skywalker appear in current day Star Wars programming. So we got to see young Luke Skywalker again. Should we? Shouldn't we just let that die? Why can't we let it die?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And does Mark Hamill make that money?
Oh, good question.
You know?
Yeah.
Or does Disney own his likeness in perpetuity
Oh, yeah.
because he signed a contract back in the 70s?
Yeah.
You know? I mean, something to think about. So there's that. And we'll leave it at that, and then we'll move on with the rest of the program. But these are the types of questions that, I mean, this is why we had this strike a couple of years ago, because of this type of technology. Which, again, we did this program with AGG Lou, which we scratched the surface on a bunch of different topics, and we barely got to one, but it's that sort of stuff that gets a lot of people raging. So, but it's an interesting technology.
Mhm.
But when our overlords crush our skulls, we won't have anything to worry about.
Yeah. Hey, if you hear snoring, it's just my pug.
Oh, okay. It's not you. You're not.
No, it's not
Okay.
me. Or
Good.
people are like, is her stomach making noises? No, it's my pug.
Okay. It's good to know I didn't bore you to tears.
No.
Let's move on and talk about some ghost hunters who are visiting the St. Anthony's Old Reform School in Idaho. They're
Okay.
calling it the most haunted place in Idaho. How we say the story that starts out, who are you going to call? We're not calling anybody. How do you like that? They're calling Broken Wings Paranormal, which, by the way, Broken Wings Paranormal makes me think of Mr. Mister,
Yeah.
which is such a dated reference.
Yep.
Nobody will get it. Which tells you how far behind the times Idaho is, right? Salt Lake City.
Yeah.
They're exactly 40 years behind the times. The Salt Lake City based research group recently spent an evening investigating the former Idaho Industrial Reform School in St. Anthony and is calling it hands down the most haunted place in Idaho. It was built in 1924. The Reform School has long been one of eastern Idaho's most recognizable and controversial landmarks. Originally built to house juvenile offenders, the facility operated for decades before eventually transitioning to other correctional uses. During its years of operation, my screen disappeared.
That's okay. My phone just rang and I don't know why Derek's calling me because he knows I'm recording.
Okay, go ahead and get it real quick.
Oh no, I hung up on him.
Oh,
It was right when your screen went weird.
oh, okay.
I'll text him and tell him I'm recording. I think he forgot.
Well, it might be emergency.
Okay, I'll text him. Let's see if he responds. I know the marathon was down. They lost power.
Okay.
texting me back. Hold on a sec.
Okay.
Oh, no, it's not.
Okay.
Okay. So I'll call him later.
Built in 1924, the Reform School has long been one of eastern Idaho's most recognizable and controversial landmarks. Originally built to house juvenile offenders, the facility operated for decades before eventually transitioning to other correctional uses. During its years of operation, the institution drew national attention over allegations of cruel and unusual punishment for the treatment of some of its residents. Today, it has been transformed into an Airbnb known as Summerhill Estates.
Ooh, road trip.
Yeah, so come on in and stay at our comfy school for boys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Over the years, stories of unexplained noises, shadowy figures, and other alleged paranormal activities have come or become part of the property's local folklore, attracting ghost hunters, history enthusiasts, and curious visitors. There's also the ghost smells of dirty jocks and dirty socks. So, there's that you have to put up with as well.
Right.
Steve Cutter, digital creator and lead investigator for Broken Wings Paranormal, said, take these broken
wings and learn to fly again.
He also said the place does not disappoint when you go there. They were armed with 20 night vision cameras, a little bit overkill. Digital
place.
little bit. Digital audio recorders and equipment designed to detect electromagnetic fields that Cutter believes picks up on spirits. Cutter said he and his team experienced near constant activity, including what the team described as poltergeist activity, disembodied voices, and insane EVP or electronic voice phenomena. Often when we go on an investigation, he said nothing happens. It's like watching paint dry for 8 hours. He said, well, I'm glad he said that to everybody. But from the second we got here, that wasn't the case. There was a constant feeling of being watched, along with knocking and banging, things being thrown, and some creepy voices that could be clearly heard. At one point, a door opened on its own, and it's rare to capture something like that on camera, he added. Local folklore surrounding the former reform school includes stories of 22 unmarked graves believed to belong to children who died at the facility, rumors of a 17-year-old girl who was bullied and killed in the communal showers, and tales of a young woman who allegedly jumped from a third-story window to her death. One of the property's most enduring stories centers on 14-year-old Hope Chacon, an inmate at the reform school who died in the dormitory on March 17, 1941. Her death was officially ruled as suicide by hanging, according to her death certificate and contemporaneous newspaper reports. However, some of her relatives have long questioned that conclusion, even to this day, and believe that she may have been murdered. Over the years, visitors and paranormal investigators have claimed to encounter the spirit of a young girl that they believe is Hope, making her one of the site's best-known ghost stories. Cutter believes that his team may have experienced that during its investigation of the old shower area. Cutter's daughter, Chelsea, who's a psychic medium and member of Broken Wings Paranormal, said she enters a deep meditative state in an attempt to communicate one-on-one with spirits. During the investigation, she believes she made contact with Hope. We knew right away she was picking up on some bad things that happened in the communal shower. That sounds like a loaded statement, I know. Cutter said those girls were treated terribly. Was it suicide or murder? We'll likely never know. Cutter said that unlike many paranormal reality TV show, Broken Wings Paranormal's videos are not heavily edited or dramatized. We never make up fake evidence, he said. Everything we do is in the moment. Okay, here's my problem with these articles, right?
Okay.
Come out and go, we never make up fake evidence. Were you on the set of those TV shows and you know for a fact they made up fake evidence? I'll wait. I mean, and they throw out the general misnomer of they made up fake evidence.
Right. I know. They jumped on the bandwagon of
Were you there?
For reality shows. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I mean, granted, reality shows are for entertainment.
Right. But still, were you there when
Yes.
you filmed? When they filmed? Do you know for a fact? Do you have the footage?
Mm-hmm.
I'll wait. Cutter said the team's highly sensitive Zoom digital recorder also captured what sounds like a young girl humming in the shower area. Bad choice of words. At another point, he said someone in the group asked, "Where do you want us?" And a creepy male voice appeared to respond, "Bedroom." In the bedroom, evidently. Overall, Cutter said the team was left with an overwhelming feeling of sadness and despair. Some investigations can drain you out emotionally, mentally, and physically, he said. Broken Wings Paranormal conducts between 25 and 35 investigations each year. Recent locations have included the Idaho State Penitentiary, Boise Egyptian Theater, and the old Idaho State Tuberculosis Hospital in Gooding. The group also investigates private homes at no charge. He said, "This is an expensive hobby, but we're not in it for the money. It's our passion," Cutter said, adding that the team of 8 all have different jobs. Asked about the scariest experience as a paranormal investigator, Cutter pointed to Virginia City's infamous Red Room in Nevada, where he said he felt as though he had been hit by an NFL linebacker and later discovered bruises on his body. Despite describing the St. Anthony investigation as one of the most active his team has ever experienced, Cutter said there's still much more to explore at the former reform school. "We'll be back," he said, or he said, "We'll be back." um, the team's videos, by the way, are on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. Just look for Broken Wings Paranormal. So there you go. I mean, I know I threw a little bit of hinky shade at them a little bit, but go check them out anyways. I'm not downing them or pissing Wheaties or anything, but I know they overblow things in articles and stuff, but
right.
But yeah, go check them out anyways. Who knows? Maybe someday we'll have them on the show.
Hey.
You never know.
Exactly.
Yeah, you never know that sort of
I
thing.
always like though to find out where people are investigating because sometimes you run out of like ideas. You know what I mean?
Well,
It's the
and I'm
same
sure.
old places, so
Yeah,
it's nice to find out about new places.
and I'm sure there's not. I mean, I'm sure there's. Idaho isn't the first place you think of when you think of investigating haunted places, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, to learn about new places in Idaho is a good thing.
Yep.
Yeah, and especially to know that there's tuberculosis hospitals and things like that in Idaho.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of cool. I mean, because you're right, we are kind of running out of places to investigate. So
Yep.
to be able to find that out and investigate those places, or at least make arrangements to go look for those places,
Right.
that's important. That's for
And
sure.
also that it's a B&B so you can spend the night there too.
Ah, yes.
You know what I mean? You don't have to go find somewhere else to stay the night afterwards.
Right. Right. You're right. There's very few that's even more rare to find a place where you can stay at the same place that you're investigating.
Mm-hmm.
That's getting even more rare these days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, but yeah, check them out. Broken Wings Paranormal on YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook. That's I'm, I'm sure that they've been outside of Idaho, and they did say they'd been to Nevada, but
Mm-hmm. Virginia City. You and I have been there a couple
yep,
times.
yep. As a matter of fact, you want to hear something that'll blow your mind?
Yeah.
One of the first times we were to Virginia City, one
Uh-huh.
of our first trips to Virginia City,
Uh-huh.
14 years ago this month.
Holy crap.
Actually, last month, 14 years ago, the end of last month.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. It came up in my memories on my phone.
Oh, okay.
And I was like my pictures came up and I went, 14 years ago.
Wow.
That kind of,
Wow.
that'll kind of take you by surprise. That'll grab you by the short and curlies.
Yeah.
Because you think time
Wow.
doesn't go that fast. You think, oh yeah, it's probably been about what, 7, 10 years or so, and then you go 14 years ago.
Yeah. Well, because
That's
we were with Taddy and Katrina, so they must have been babies.
yeah, right.
They were probably just done with Paranormal State.
I think so. Yeah, I think they were. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. Isn't that something? It's funny how time slips away, right?
Yeah. Jeez Louise.
Uh-huh.
Huh.
And what's funny is I'm looking at as we're talking about it, I'm looking at you, you remember they sold those like those big fake newspapers in Virginia City?
Yeah. Yeah, because I had one
Yeah, I've got the one
made.
for Darkness Radio. It says historic first radio show, Darkness Radio, January 1st, 1876.
Yeah, I forget what mine said. Something about, I can't remember, but it was Mallie Fox something. I don't
Yeah,
remember.
yeah, I've still got mine. It's right. It's hanging on that wall over there.
Yeah. Mine's in a box. I think it has something to do with cupcakes and being arrested.
Too funny.
I think. I'm usually associated with pastries. So
Gotta get back there someday.
yeah.
Yeah, just
Huh.
some. I don't know when. Probably in another 14 years or so, but someday.
Yeah.
Maybe for the 28th anniversary. Our next story has to do with the brain still being able to process language even when fully unconscious. It's a new study that has revealed the surprising level of processing our brain, which we can achieve even when we are fast asleep. It'd be fair to say that we don't tend to remember much from the times we are unconscious, apart from the occasional dream recollection. But as it turns out, the human brain is still busy at work processing what we hear, even when we are in a deep sleep. To learn more, researchers from the Baylor College of Medicine monitored brain activity in patients who were undergoing epilepsy surgery and who had been rendered fully unconscious via general anesthetic. Incredibly, it seemed that even during this state, the brain was still able to perceive and process at a sophisticated level the words that it heard during the procedure. Not only did the researchers discover that the brain was able to distinguish between verbs, nouns, and adjectives, but also it could predict words that even before they were even heard. Our findings our findings show that the brain is far more active and capable during unconsciousness than previously thought, said Dr. Samir Sheth. Even when patients are fully anesthetized, their brains continue to analyze the world around them. The findings are particularly meaningful as they challenge what we know of consciousness. If we can listen to and process the world around us while unconscious, what else can we do? Is what it says. All right. So I teased earlier that Jack Osbourne has a new program.
Uh-huh.
You and I had talked off air because he supposedly has a program coming out on Beacon.
Yeah.
I had told you behind the scenes, he's involved with Spark TV.
Yes.
He has a new program coming via
Oh,
Spark
is it on
TV.
Spark?
On
Oh.
Spark. It was
Oh.
announced this week that Jack Osbourne is launching a new out of this world reality TV dating show on Spark TV.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Jack Osbourne is embarking on a fresh TV experience where he will help hopefuls find love with a bizarre angle as the show centers on those wanting to date with a paranormal twist. TV star Jack Osbourne is launching the craziest dating series in history, helping singletons find out of this world connections, especially people who have met aliens, traveled in UFOs, or survived paranormal experiences. The 40-year-old Osbourne will executive produce a new reality dating show called Paranormal Date, which encourages people with unusual earth and cosmic based interactions to seek like minded folks for love. The I'm a Celebrity star has greenlit the show with fellow producer and show host Serena DC, who was on this program not too long ago, for their streaming network, Spark TV. Notice I said their streaming network.
Yeah.
Jack is also involved with that streaming network as well. Participants are encouraged to go on dates at unusual sites, including haunted homes, places, and alien landing sites in the new Wild Dating series. This comes after the son of the late Black Sabbath frontman Ozzy Osbourne slammed claims that he was grossly underweight in a furious weight loss rant on social media. According to the announcement, Jack and Serena's tagline for the reality dating series is "Real people, real stories, real encounters, where getting ghosted is a good thing." The show is also viewed as TV Tinder for the paranormal. Globally renowned paranormal investigator George Norrie and Serena, a Hollywood dating expert, will encourage love to blossom during dates in supernatural circumstances. Yes, you heard that right. George Norrie is involved.
Wow.
Yes, in the series. Paranormal Date is now a Spark original dating series where real singles go on real dates at haunted locations with George as your guide.
Oh. That's a little different.
That is
I'm picturing his voice.
Right. Part matchmaker, part paranormal investigator, all heart, Jack and Serena added. This isn't manufactured drama. It's genuine search for connection between people who see the world differently. Casting for the show has started with cameras rolling next month. So this thing's coming out quick.
Yeah.
Adventurer and truth seeker Jack is the co-founder and partner of Spark TV, a digital streaming platform dedicated to paranormal, spiritual, UFO, UAP phenomena, and biohacking wellness content. Along with Serena and producer Michael Mazzola, Jack launched the network this year and has already scored hits with exclusive shows Hollyweird, Rebirth, and Spark Provocateur. Serena said this is cutting-edge, never-before-seen show, allowing open-minded people to explore their passions, not just for the paranormal, but for finding true love. Each episode, one paranormal-loving singleton goes on a blind speed date with 3 potential matches who share their passion for ghosts, UFOs, psychic phenomena, cryptids, and the mysteries that keep us looking for the night sky, or looking up at the night sky, rather. After choosing their favorite connection, the lucky couple is whisked away to a haunted location for a chilling romantic first date. Viewers will discover whether they meet their soulmate, another boo, or simply have the thrill of a one-night rendezvous. Not with each other, but with unidentified forces. We love creating the chance for people to have love at first fright. Jack and Serena are asking for candidates to detail their personal feelings on perfect partners and otherworldly experiences. The paranormaldate.com show website asks if you've seen something you can't explain, love all things paranormal, or simply want to meet someone who shares your fascination with the unknown. We want to hear from you. Apply now at Paranormal Date, where getting ghosted is a good thing. So evidently you can apply right now for the show at paranormaldate.com. Yeah. Veteran broadcaster Norrie has hosted the nationally syndicated program Coast to Coast AM for over 20 years, uncovering listeners' paranormal adventures and experiences. His show has been heard by millions of listeners on nearly 620 stations in the U.S., Canada, Mexico, and Guam. Serena said George is the granddaddy of the paranormal. Though his thousands of listeners and interactions with those who have encountered the unusual, George is a trusted name and expert in the area. It is special to have him host. Serena and Jack famously have probed the Peruvian alien mummies, as you heard her talk about here on this program, and the Colombian Bugosphere during their TV work. Anyone wishing to, again, apply should visit paranormaldate.com or sparktv.ai. Interesting, huh?
Yeah.
The landscape's changing a little.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think that show that they were working on the other streaming channel is not happening?
I don't know. I got to think it's still happening. I mean, I think there's still a contract for it.
Yeah. It's just that this, oh, my leg just fell asleep. But it's just that this one's happening so fast and we haven't heard anything about the other one that was mentioned about a year ago. You know? Interesting.
I would just encourage, if someone knows about the other show, to write in, tim@darknessradio.com.
I'm just curious now that the spark thing is starting to take off.
Yeah.
But George Norrie?
George Norrie. Yeah.
I always picture him like old school, you know what I mean? I mean, I know that he's with Spark now because you and I were talking about that, but he's so old school. It's like Art Bell.
He's been doing TV stuff with Gaia, in all fairness.
Yeah, true.
And people have been subscribing to Gaia, but I've known for a little bit that he's been involved with the Spark TV venture.
Yeah, because you told me that. But remember when he came to one of our events, the Ghost Adventure events that we held, and he was at our event as a guest, and a lot of the younger people didn't know who he was. I like how you're quiet.
They will now.
Right, they will now. But remember when he was at a lot of people didn't know who he was.
There's a fair amount that didn't. Yeah. But it Coast to Coast AM does skew older.
Yeah. Very true.
Yeah. But what's interesting is lately, and I'll give them the fair shot here. Lately, when they've picked weekend hosts, they've picked younger hosts.
Okay.
They picked younger hosts, and it just so happens that they have a weekend host who has scored huge in the mainstream UFO disclosure field.
Okay.
In George Knapp. With George Knapp and Jeremy Corbell, they have reinvented the UFO field. And you can find George Knapp only in one place, other than his own show. And that's on Coast to Coast AM.
Yeah.
So through trying to find George Knapp, I think people I think the younger audience is discovering George Norrie.
Yeah.
So there's a resurgence.
Yeah.
There's a resurgence. That show is getting a bit of a renaissance.
Okay. Well, good.
Yeah. Yep. It's getting a bit of a renaissance. And the alien, they've always been huge into aliens on that show.
Yeah.
And so that also, as things have swung back to the alien destination, it's gotten a bit of a renaissance too. So, yeah. They've never been a huge, well, not since art have they been huge into ghosts.
Yeah.
Ghosts and demons. I mean, Art was the ghost and demon guy.
Right.
With Father Malachi Martin and that whole deal. But yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yes, indeed. Speaking of ghosts, we have one more ghost story here, and then I have a Parashare story for us today.
Okay.
There's a man out there who claims that he didn't believe in ghosts until he bought a castle, his own castle. Now he bosses them around, supposedly, which is an interesting way to get over your fear of ghosts. Mock O'Keefe needed a friendly ghost to tell him how to control the rest.
Okay.
I guess. A man who lost everything when his brother and father died within days of each other, and his mother fell seriously ill, leading him to having to quit his job and his home, ended up meeting the love of his life and moving to a castle with a bunch of ghosts. If that's not a Mad Lib, I don't know what is. But essentially, that's the life of Mock O'Keefe, who was living in London in 2010 when his world fell apart. I lost my entire family within 2 years, he said. My brother Andrew died at the age of 44. My father died the day after his funeral. Wait a minute. My father, the day died the day after his brother's funeral.
Mm-hmm.
Thought that meant he died the day after his own funeral. I was going to say, boy, that would have been messy, wouldn't it? You have your funeral, you're down in your grave going, hey, knocking on the lid. My mother lost her full mental capacity. I'd lost my job and couldn't afford my house, so I sold it under duress. Oh. Boy, this guy had a hard knock life, didn't he?
Yeah.
I was living on 20 pounds a week. It was awful. The 56-year-old Mock says it was the toughest time of his life. Andrew had asked Mock to help bring up his 3 nieces with his sister-in-law, so he threw himself into family life in his 40s. My mother went into a care facility around the corner. I was doing school runs, seeing my mother in the morning and in the evening, and trying to start a business. I was in a terrible way, he said. Andrew used the savings he had to buy a small cottage in Gloucestershire, where he unexpectedly met Joe. Life is a journey, and if that hadn't happened, I wouldn't have met Joe or Gladys, Mock said. I met Joe in a little village just near Highgrove, where King Charles lives. He said, I thought I was the only gay in the village. What was the likelihood I would meet a man, fall in love, and marry him? He went on to say. Just trying to get the rest of the story here. Here we go. The couple moved to Wales 5 years ago, so Joe could be near his family, where for £900,000, they bought a baby castle, which is a 5-bedroom home with Elizabethan roots, a turret, and a title near Abergavenny. Now the baronial Lord of Glenbach. Mock sees himself as the custodian of a building with a rich and wonderful history. And he posts about the experiences on YouTube and Instagram as Life with Mock, M-O-K, if you're looking for Life with Mock.
Oh, I think I've seen him.
Have you seen him? I have a picture of him right here. If you
on YouTube, I think I've seen a couple of his videos. Because as you were talking, I'm like, this sounds familiar.
It's this guy right here.
Yes. I have watched a couple of his videos. Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
So you're familiar with him?
Yes.
All right. Well, that's who we're talking about here, Mel. That's so have you seen his castle then?
Yes.
Is it a decent castle?
It's not like really big.
Yeah, it's a little 5-bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, mini castle.
I mean, I wouldn't turn it down if it was.
No, I wouldn't either. Yeah, I would. Well, I wouldn't turn down any castle.
Yeah.
No. You're gonna give me a castle. I'm good on that.
Mm-hmm.
So it says here that Mock said the previous owner said to me, the house is haunted. She told me that she'd been lifted and carried down the stairs. I said, I don't believe in that nonsense, but I do now. Putting his doubts to one side, when Mock moved in, he told the ghosts that he was happy to share the house with them, but they must leave him alone. And they did for a few months. But then he started experiencing visitations, moving figures, and lights flickering on and off. Delving into his baby castle's past, it's baby castle and
makes it more endearing.
It does, doesn't it? He found out that it had a sinister history. Hundreds of years before, people were taken to what is now known as Wales' most haunted pub, the Skerrid Mountain Inn, for execution. And the night before they were hanged, they would visit what is now Mock's house, sleeping in what is his bedroom. Oh, there's no ghost there. Not at all.
Yeah, no residual energy there.
No, none. Mock dismissed this until around a year after he moved in, when he started hearing footsteps going up the stairs that were so loud that they would wake him up, and unexplained things would happen. He would then leave his yoga mat on the floor only to find it rolled up and tucked away when he wasn't looking. Shadowy figures would cross his path, which he assumed was Joe, until he found him in another room, and his schnoodle, Chowser, would go crazy barking at some invisible spirit. That made for an easy, peaceful household, didn't it?
Uh-huh.
I learned that a lady named Gladys, the youngest of 9 children, lived here into her 90s and had her ashes scattered on the cherry tree in the garden. His neighbors say they have seen Gladys's ghostly figure roaming the grounds, although Mock hasn't. He invited local psychic Lisa to come and look around the house, and she confirmed forces were at work. After feeling pressure around her neck in Mock's bedroom, she told him about Gladys and told Mock to take a firm hand with the ghosts. When I told her that I had seen a figure going up the stairs, Lisa said that I had experienced a time slip and that I had potentially seen the executioner going up the stairs to collect one of the prisoners to take them up the road. Interesting. Though through Lisa, Gladys said I had to take control of the ghosts. They were misbehaving. So I had to stand in my room and say, you can't come upstairs after 9:30 p.m. After that, it went really quiet and they rarely bothered me. Well, there you go. You just put your foot down.
Mm-hmm.
You can't come upstairs after 9:30 p.m. Ninny, ninny, boo boo. Although one night I was going to bed, I walked up the stairs, I turned around, and there were 2 eyes peering at me through the door of the snug. I just said to them, you know you're not allowed to come upstairs. Stay down there. And I went to bed. Okay. So now Mock is a firm believer in the spirit world, although it doesn't frighten him. If they play up, he just tells them to go into the light. There's definitely a feel when you come in. This house is a feeling of history. There's nothing sinister. It has a beautiful energy, he says. It's incredibly calm, and it envelops you with real love. I love being here, and I think of it almost like another character in my family. It's like Diana, with 3 of us in this marriage, and this house is a support to us. Wait, he's got a threesome going on? Does Joe know about this?
Like Joe, I was referring to Diana and King Charles.
Yeah, right.
And Camilla.
And Camilla. He says, I love this house and I will be carried out of here and I will be carried out of here in a box. Well, you will eventually. Yes. I will have some of my ashes sprinkled on top of Gladys's in the old cherry tree that she planted as a child, he adds.
I love that name, Gladys.
Gladys. I'm sure Gladys won't like that. I'm sure Gladys will look at that as some sort of a weird affront, but yeah.
Would you eat fruit from a tree knowing that ashes were like planted on the ground? Like
unknowingly, yes. Knowingly, probably not. I have that weird, you know what it is? I have that weird Keith Richards story in my head. You know, the one about him supposedly consuming his father's ashes? You don't know that story?
I don't think so.
Let me see if I can pull it up because I want to get it right.
Because we were talking about that the other day because we have planted in that cemetery that I always bring up. We've planted a bunch of fruit trees in the cemetery. And like I said, we don't know where a lot of the bodies are because we're missing headstones. So I'm like, would anybody eat any of the fruit from these trees?
In the end,
I mean, it's probably great soil.
In the end, it's fertilizer, right? So
right, but still, it's like, but it's just kind of weird.
And in the end, you know what they say: ashes to ashes, dust to dust. We all return to the ground. So you know,
but it doesn't say eat me. It's not in that phrase.
The story behind Keith Richards was that, and this is back in 2007. Keep in mind, this is almost a 20-year-old story. Is he confessed to snorting his father's cremated remains mixed with cocaine.
Oh, God. Ew.
His father, Bert, passed away in 2002. The guitarist later claimed he made the story up, but the myth has endured as one of rock's most notorious anecdotes.
But that would be just disrespectful.
He claims my dad wouldn't have cared. This is the quote. It went down pretty well and I'm still alive.
Oh, geez. Because I know people have used like ashes to do tattoos and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That doesn't bother me, but just like a fruit tree, like the cherry tree, and you've got ashes there. I don't know. That'd be weird.
Can't imagine snorting my old man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a little out of control. But you know,
yeah,
to each their own. You know,
yeah,
sorry, Dad.
yeah.
I
Jeez
mean,
Louise, Clarabelle.
you know,
Yeah, my dog's making noises. Sorry.
oh, it's all right. We can't hear it, but
Okay, good.
I mean, I can't. Maybe the audience does, but I can't hear old Clarabelle. I know that much. Um, we do have a Parashare here. Actually, you know what's interesting is we have a Parashare from the daughter of a regular contributor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just have to be able to get to it here. But if you have a Parashare for us, it's real simple. We have 3 ways that you can get us a Parashare. The first one is pretty obvious. You just send us an email, tim@darknessradio.com, with your experience either with a UFO, with Bigfoot, with any type of cryptid, really, or with a ghost. And type it out. I'll go ahead and take a look at it. And if it passes the muster, which it almost always does, we'll read it here on the show. Second way is if you go to our website, darknessradioshow.com, there's a blue button on the right-hand side. And if you click that button, you can leave us a voice note. Now, you've got 2 minutes to do so, to leave us that voice note. If you need more time, just click on that blue button again, leave another 2 minutes. If you need more time, do it again, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I can paste those together or stitch those together, and we can air it here on this program. And you get the idea there. The third way is if you have a studio like the one I'm sitting in here on video, you can put together a video note. We'll air it here on the program as well. So that's the 3 ways that you can give us your Parashare story, which we always welcome here on the program as well. The story I have here, again, my email is so slow.
You know what? This past week, I've had so many problems with like technology.
You know what? We are in Mercury retrograde. This has been pointed out to me multiple times that Mercury retrograde, and it's supposed to be a bad one.
Okay.
But I can believe it because I had some funky stuff happen to me last week.
Yeah, just like the simplest things
Yeah.
not working.
Things just not going. I had things that
Yeah.
go my way last week.
Oh.
Things were bad last week. I mean, like incredibly bad. But I'm just trying to do the simplest things. Here we go. Just trying to do the simplest things last week.
Mm-hmm.
I was having trouble. So RW sent us his daughter's Parashare. I don't know if her email's protected and I'm not supposed to know it. I can guarantee you, RW, I can get within 500 feet of a school and not be prosecuted. That's not an issue. I can even show you proof. But he said, it's RW from Kansas again. My daughter has a story to tell, and she sent it over to me to send to you. She's been listening to your show since 2015. Well, thank you. It's greatly appreciated. She shares the same fascination with the paranormal as her father. Now, time for their story. Hello, Tim, Mallie, and the Darkness Radio family. This is Natalie from Kansas. I have a story for you. My dad, Ryan, has sent in a few stories. The most notable one I was in was at the age of 2.
Wow.
Talk about your trauma.
Mm-hmm.
I left him to fend off a scary man, that's in quotes, or the Hat Man, as he calls it, at my grandparents' farmhouse. He wanted me to send him my story since I have a few of my own. Just a note, this particular story takes place sometime between the ages of 4 and 6. We don't really remember how old I was at the time. My family and I were at my grandparents' house for dinner. They live in the small town of Burr Oak, Kansas, which has a very small population of people and an even smaller population of children. Next to their home is a property that has a rundown house that no one has lived in for years and is just being used for storage. I was outside playing in the side yard when I looked over at the house next door. In one of the windows, I saw what looked like a young girl with dark hair in some kind of white or light-colored gown. She smiled and waved at me, and I waved back. I was so excited to see someone, let alone another little girl, since the town I was in is mainly full of older folks. I ran inside and found my mom and grandma standing in the kitchen, which had a perfect view of the side of the yard I was playing in. I told them, there's a little girl in the house next door. My grandma told me no one has lived there in years and that it simply wasn't possible that someone was in there. They looked out the window to see no one there, but I still took them out with me and we checked. And sure enough, no one was there. There was no signs of anyone being there. And when they called out, no one answered. I'm 19 now, and whenever I go out there, it never fails that I catch myself looking over at that abandoned house, wondering if she will appear again.
Ooh, creepy.
Yeah.
I like it, Natalie.
Yep. Thanks again for reading my story, Natalie. Thank you, Natalie. Appreciate it.
Yes, thank you for sharing.
I will never go near that house. I will never go near Burr Oak. How does that sound?
Yes, I love stories like that.
Yeah. But thank you, Natalie. Appreciate that. So, woo, Burr Oak. You got a creepy ass town. That's for sure. That's for sure. All right. With that, let's see here. What do we got here left for stories? A time traveler. That's what we have next. A few weeks ago, we had a time traveler that claimed that AI had become part of our government, that we had elected intelligent AI, and all's well that ends well. Well, we have another time traveler in from the year 2118, and he tells a different story. This time traveler says he's from the year 2118 and makes chilling claims about World War III and secret CIA inventions. This self-proclaimed time traveler has come forward with extraordinary claims that he journeyed to the year 2118 and returned with a chilling vision of humanity's future. So he went forward and then came back. The man, who identified himself as Alexander Smith, appeared in a gray suit and black tie, wearing a strange latex-like mask with an oversized nose and bald head, as he warned that the world as we know it will change a lot. Among his startling predictions were claims that artificial intelligence would one day rule the planet, again with the ruling the planet, and that a small conflict between the U.S. and North Korea would spiral into a global war after Russia sided with Pyongyang and missiles were eventually launched, resulting in what some might describe as a third world war. Smith also alleged that the CIA possesses advanced technologies that remain hidden from the public, including what he described as a secret time machine. According to his account, agency officials told him he would become the first test subject in an experiment designed to push the boundaries of space and time itself. He further claimed that the government would routinely develops technologies decades before they become publicly available, telling viewers the technologies that you're using right now, like smartphones, they were developed about 30 years prior to them actually being released. Smith insisted that the public deserves to know the truth about what is happening behind closed doors, claiming the next century will bring more change than any other period in human history. The interview was released on the YouTube channel Apex TV and was first published in 2018, but has recently resurfaced online, where viewers have once again become captivated by his extraordinary claims. Smith has provided no evidence to support his extraordinary claims, and there's no proof that he worked for the CIA, traveled through time, or visited the year 2118. According to Smith, his story began in 1981 when he said he already left the CIA and was working as a local carpenter. He claimed his life took an extraordinary turn when he was sitting on the couch watching television with his wife when he heard a knock at the door. When he answered, Smith said he found two men dressed in black suits standing outside who told him to come with him because they worked with the CIA. They told me to go with them, so I complied, he said, and adding that he was not even allowed to tell his wife where he was going. According to Smith, when he was driven away, blindfolded, and eventually taken by helicopter to a secret underground military base. He was told he had been chosen to participate in a classified experiment. There, a scientist allegedly showed him what he described as a time machine and informed that he was going to be the first test subject. Smith claimed that humanity's future would be shaped by a devastating conflict that begins as a relatively minor dispute. According to his account, the country that I was part of, the United States of America, was in a conflict with North Korea, and the conflict started off small. He said the confrontation eventually escalated after Russia soon took the side of North Korea, and tensions began to escalate, and eventually missiles were fired. While he did not specify where the missiles struck, Smith warned that the effects were not what one may consider desirable. He added that the conflict was what some might describe as a third world war, claiming that the devastation ultimately led to a dramatically different future in which the world began to become one and borders began to become meaningless. Smith alleged that people in the future developed a love and appreciation for life that discouraged them from harming one another. When he asked who the president was in 2118, Smith said he was told there was only one leader of this one world. According to his account, that leader was an artificial intelligence that he claimed governed humanity better than any person could by maintaining peace, safety, technological advancement, and all of the other great things that could benefit our lives as humans. Smith said he was initially skeptical that that a machine could lead the world, but claimed that people in the future insisted that artificial intelligence was better suited to govern humanity than any human politician. He also described encountering human-like robots that floated above the ground and possessed the same rights as people. According to Smith, there was no discerning the robots from ordinary humans, except that they had no legs and hovered several feet in the air, which sounds like me with a jetpack on. Smith claimed that time travel technology existed decades before the public knew about it and predicted it would become available beginning in the year 2028, both commercial and non-commercial uses. All right, so all we got to do is wait 2 years to call BS on them, right?
Right. Yep.
He further alleged that 2028 is also the same year in which the government discloses the existence of intelligent extraterrestrials. We also have to wait 2 years for that. Claiming authorities had possessed knowledge of aliens for some time previous to the announcement. One of the more bizarre details involved what Smith described as an implant embedded beneath the skin of a robot's hand. He claimed the device acted as an all-in-one form of identification and payment. Oh, mark of the devil. Telling him this is everything because it could be used to make purchases, verify identities, and conduct transactions. In his first video, also released in 2018, Smith claimed to make himself known as the CIA was allegedly hunting him after he returned from the future. During the clip, he held up a photograph of a mysterious city skyline, although he never revealed exactly where the image had been taken. The blurry picture appeared to show a row of enormous green, oddly shaped buildings and a city unlike any that exists today. I have something to show you today. The picture was taken in the year 2118. This picture was the city I walked in, he said while holding up the image to the camera. I'll never forget when I took that picture. It was right outside the city before I had walked into it. Smith claimed the futuristic metropolis featured slanted skyscrapers with a bluish tint, flying vehicles moving between the buildings, and a red sky hanging above the city. He said the photograph was taken shortly after arriving in the year 2118 and before entering the mysterious metropolis, which he referred to as District 508. So it didn't have a name.
Yeah. That reminds me of, oh shoot, what was that movie? Something Games, Hunger Games with the districts.
Mm-hmm. Well, there was also a sci-fi movie called District 9? Yeah, District 9.
Yeah.
9, yeah. That was a picture from the future, which I was able to take back. He said there was only a minor amount of distortion on it that was caused by the time traveling process. Why couldn't he store it on a phone and bring a phone back? Are there no phones then?
Yeah.
Huh. The government confiscated the original photo, but before they took it from me, I did manage to make a copy I hold before you. Despite that, the resurfaced interviews continue to attract attention online, with some viewers dismissing him as a hoaxer, while others remain fascinated by his warnings of global war, artificial intelligence, and technologies he claims are still being kept hidden from the public. I don't know. What do you think, Mallie? Hoaxer or?
I'm kind of going towards that.
Yeah.
I don't mean to insult him, but I'm kind of thinking.
Yeah. I find it slightly fascinating.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've got what, 2 years, you said?
Yeah, 2 years.
Yep. I'm patient. I can wait.
Yeah, I can be patient too.
Yep.
But 2 years to call BS on him. That's for sure. All right. Well, we can call BS on scientists now if we want, because evidently they're bored. They've evidently discovered everything they can discover, and now they're putting cockroaches into little cyborg suits and then putting them in diving suits. What for? I don't know. Well, let's find out, shall we? They're in Singapore. Cockroaches can now spend time and hours underwater, but is augmenting insects really a good idea, and where do you draw the line? In the 1980s classic RoboCop, a Detroit cop who was gunned down by crooks ends up being heavily augmented to turn him into the world's first cyborg police officer. Now we have cyborg cockroaches. Like they weren't going to live long enough to begin
exactly.
with. Right? Well, we certainly don't have the technology to do something like this yet. Scientists have been experimenting with creating cybernetic insects with some surprising levels of success. Cyborg cockroaches have actually been a thing for a while, with researchers attaching electrodes to the brain and sensory organs, enabling them to direct the insects like a remote-controlled car. It's a thing, Mallie. I can't believe I'm saying it. Now, those scientists at Nanyang Technological University in Singapore, I have a feeling that's a non-transferable credits only university, have taken things one step further by creating a cybernetic driving suit that can enable a cockroach to breathe underwater. Do you think that's a request from most cockroaches? I'd like the ability to breathe underwater, please.
I thought they could. I thought they could survive anything. Like they always said, like World War III, they would survive.
Yeah, they should be able to survive anything. Yeah. A 3D printed backpack attached to the insect contains a chemical oxygen generator and pumps the breathable air through special tubes. How nice of them. Experiments showed that the system provided enough of an oxygen supply for the insect to survive and swim around underwater for up to 3 hours. Aqua roach. Well, the whole idea of this sounds a bit pointless. There's actually a legitimate use for this case. Diving cockroaches, which is a great band name, by the way, could be used to help search pockets of water, like submerged caves, for people trapped and in need of rescue. Which, I don't know if you know this or not, but what opposable thumbs is going to help them rescue people underwater if the cockroach finds them? I'll let you think about that for a minute. Whether we'll ever see them deployed in such a scenario, however, remains to be seen. Diving cockroaches. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to the stage at First Avenue, diving cockroaches. Wait, I have my... Would you like to hear my applause meter? Okay,
yeah,
here we go.
Go for it.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to the stage, now at First Avenue, diving cockroaches. And that's it. That's my scenario. That joke fell flat, I know. But not flatter than a diving cockroach once it gets stepped on.
Yeah.
Whale. Okay. All right, finally today. You thought that story was strange. I got one more. Mexico's mystery Batman has been taping bike thieves to lampposts.
What?
I know, another Mad Lib for you. Vigilante has been taking matters into his own hands by catching and taping thieves for local police officers to find. The town of Lagos de Moreno in Mexico seems to have become the country's answer to Gotham City. We could have a new superhero, Mallie. At least that is if stories about its local superhero are to be believed. According to reports, a mysterious vigilante has been attempting to deal with a spate of motorcycle thefts in the area by going after crooks themselves, or himself rather. The strangeness began on June 13th when one of them was found by police officers taped to a lamppost with the word thief written on his forehead. Probably with a Sharpie, just like
right.
that. Yeah. Over the subsequent days, several more were found trussed up in a similar fashion. As things stand, officials have been unable to determine who is responsible, and some have speculated that there could be a whole gang of vigilantes as opposed to just one. Still, it's fun to imagine that this is the work of a lone Cape Crusader. Whether or not he wears a bat costume remains, for the most part, to be unknown. With that, I'll just say happy birthday, John Byrne. Is my favorite artist growing up, favorite artist and writer, comic writer. I even wore my Mutant Club t-shirt today, and I'm John Byrne's birthday. Yeah. He celebrated his 76th birthday today, and this week most people will be getting, if they ordered it, will be getting their X-Men Elsewhere novels if they ordered them either from barnesandnoble.com or from Amazon or from Midtown Comics.
Okay.
He was featured in the New York Times this past Sunday. Oh. I know it means nothing to you. Mel's like, who's John Byrne? Yep. Most of the X-Men movies that came out over the past 2 decades, the new Superman movie that came out, and I think the new Supergirl movie gave John Byrne a credit. A lot of the Marvel movies give John Byrne a credit for being the creator of a lot of the characters. So, but it's John's 76th birthday, so happy birthday, John.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm a John Byrne guy. All right. And with that, it's time for a palate cleanser. You can't have messed up any more than the 2 people I'm about to tell you about.
Okay.
So I want you to feel good about yourself.
Okay.
Right now, it can't get any worse than it's about to get. You people out there in podcast land are successful. You're smart, you're intelligent, you're funny, you're good looking. You got the world by the tail. So I'm about to tell you about some people who don't.
Okay.
Let me tell you about them. Here's the first blunder master. And this is the blunder master of all blunder masters. As you may or may not know, Senator Mitch McConnell has been ill, almost on his deathbed. Unfortunately, he had what many people believe is either a heart attack or a stroke. And he's definitely on death's door. A lot of people think he's unconscious. Well, one news outlet blundered in a big way and prematurely released his memoriam piece.
Oh, no.
Yeah. You know, a lot of times, Mallie, news outlets will write an in memoriam piece preparing long in advance for a famous person's death. Well, Senator Mitch McConnell has not passed away, at least according to current news reports, as we're taping this. I can't speak for after it's released. I don't want to jinx Senator McConnell.
Right.
But The Hill accidentally published an article clearly intended to be embargoed until he did pass away. The article in question, screenshotted and posted to X ahead of its removal, was titled "A Look Back at Mitch McConnell's Time in the Senate," but was prefaced with an all-caps warning to site editors saying, "Do not use." But it got used.
Oh.
Yeah. McConnell, decades-long titan in the Senate, who previously served as Republican leader, has been in the hospital for weeks after he was reported discovered unconscious and unresponsive in his home. He was even given CPR for cardiac arrest and taken by Advanced Emergency Support Team. Really bad taste to put out he's expired.
Right.
He's, still in the hospital. Few details have been released publicly, but his condition since then, although some sources have insisted he has been recovering. Okay. The bottom line is he's been recovering.
Right.
The Hill is saying he's expired. Not good. This comes after Laura Loomer, far-right influencer with close ties to the White House, alleged with no evidence that sources told her McConnell is officially brain dead, something that no other source has corroborated. This is not the first time in the last few weeks that a major story was erroneously published and retracted. NPR's Nina Totenberg came under fire last week after publishing an article announcing the retirement of Supreme Court Justice Samuel Alito, who, as of this writing, by the way, is not retired. Or this published is not retired. See, you just can't go out there and say stuff.
Right.
All right. You got to have sources. As far as the Hill goes, they put out a statement, an emailed statement to Raw Story that said this. The Hill created a generic compilation video of Senator Mitch McConnell's recent remarks on the Senate floor, covering a range of topics, including comments about retirement for future editorial use. The video was inadvertently uploaded to a system that automatically publishes content to the Hill's website. As soon as we became aware of the error, we immediately removed the video. This was not a news article or an obituary, but rather a retrospective compilation highlighting Senator McConnell's recent remarks in the Senate. Right. Sure it was. And that's Bumble Master number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Bumble Master number 2 must be a huge fan of Keith Richards.
Okay.
Just imagine you have a puppy or a dog.
Uh-huh.
And a competition dog at that. And you put that dog in the Helsinki Dog Show.
Okay.
Well, all dogs must go through, believe it or not, drug testing.
Okay.
And your dog failed. Now, what would be the worst drug you would think your dog could be tested for?
Oh, geez.
And fail.
Viagra? I don't know.
That would be one.
I think of something embarrassing
for
a dog.
Although if you're breeding, that might not be a bad one.
Yeah. Oh,
Let's say, I don't know, Mallie, how about cocaine?
Oh.
It's true. One Rottweiler tested positive for cocaine at a Helsinki dog show. The dog's owner believes the cocaine traces came from environmental contamination. It must have been one hell of a night for the dog.
Yeah, I was going to say, is it all hyped up?
Well, let's find out. A Rottweiler that competed at a dog show at the Helsinki Exhibition and Convention Center last December tested positive for cocaine, leaving its owner stunned. How did that ever happen?
Yeah.
The result, based on a sample taken on Independence Day, was returned around 6 months later. It was a terrible shock, said owner Mervy Weiberg, adding that no one in the family circle has any connection with drug use. Sure. That just pops up randomly. Mm-hmm. It's not like it's poppy seeds and heroin.
Right.
I can't imagine anything just produces a false positive for cocaine.
Right. Well, he said in the family, so he probably has kids. So if it's like his teenagers.
According to Weiberg, cocaine residue can easily be transferred to animals in public places. Because there's just random people doing coke off of kennels. You know.
Yeah.
When you're in public places, said Weiberg, residue can end up on your hands. Animals explore the world by taste, so exposure can happen very easily, even through their paws. Because, we just randomly are doing coke everywhere in this country. Actually, in Finland. Not even here, in Helsinki.
Yeah.
Yeah. Weiberg believes the contamination most likely occurred either at the exhibition center or the hotel where they stayed during the event. Following the positive test, the Finnish Kennel Club suspended the dog from its events until the end of October.
Oh, poor
Shame,
dog.
dog, shame. Do you think the dog has a little Coke straw and spoon?
Oh.
I'm just wondering. The suspension has had little immediate impact as the dog has already been unable to compete while receiving medication. The Rottweiler won silver in the IFH tracking category at last year's Rottweiler World Competition and Championship. The Finnish Kennel Club says positive doping tests are not uncommon. Just under 10% of the samples we take come back positive. If you consider that almost every 10th dog in a test competition or show is positive for some drug, that's quite a large number, said Kaisa Gold, who's the head of department at the Finnish Kennel Club. 10% Mallie come back positive.
Right. That's actually a lot.
Yeah. Most positive results, however, are caused by medications such as, believe it or not, painkillers.
Oh, okay.
Antibiotics and cortisone rather than illegal drugs. The Kennel Club operates a zero tolerance policy, meaning dogs must not have prohibited substances in their system while competing. Weiberg has questioned whether the current rules are fair in cases where contamination may have occurred unintentionally. He really is railing on this contamination thing.
Well, he probably thinks his kids are innocent if it's not him.
I think somebody was into the nose candy and
Well, because if it's not okay, let's hypothetically, if it was me, I would drop it. I wouldn't keep fighting it. I'd be like, okay, you know what I mean? I'd
yeah,
just walk away.
just
But
walk
he
away.
keeps fighting it, so obviously,
I think the
it's not
minute
him. So he's in denial of whoever's in his household.
they tell Weiberg, well, why don't you test too? I think he shuts right up. But they won't make him test.
Right.
They can't. But I think the minute they say, oh, you want to test? Let's see. Or how about we have your whole team test?
Yeah.
Let's eliminate it. I think he just shuts right up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then all of a sudden you find the culprit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's our palate cleanser for today. See, it's not that bad in your world right now.
Yeah.
You didn't get your dog high before a competition. Mm-hmm. The world could be worse.
Yes, that is true.
That's true. I know things in your world are pretty good right now, Mallie.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. I've been working on Paranormal Girl, so I'm getting that up and going. I just posted a recipe on the website. So it's a cocktail and it was delicious. I tested it out. So it's called the Blackberry Bramble.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty tasty. It's lemon juice and like a blackberry liqueur and a little simple syrup and gin. So go check it out at paranormalgirl.com for the recipe. And then in a couple days, I will be posting another recipe as well. Yeah, it's from a local cookbook. So, and it goes along with the story. So, yeah.
Excellent. Boy,
Yeah.
that does sound good.
Yeah, it's delicious. It's a perfect summer drink.
Boy, yeah. I mean, a good summer drink is, I think we're all looking for one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's dangerous though because it hides the lemon juice hides the flavor of the gin.
Oh.
So you can put a couple of them back.
Oh.
Yeah.
I do need something for that front porch. I tell you,
Yeah.
it is that time of year where boy, you can get into it. I mean, it's hot. You take a book out there on the front porch, and you get lost in a good book, and before you know it, you have two or three of those down, and it's all over, kid.
Yep.
But that's a good thing. I think
Yeah.
that's a good thing. Yeah, yeah. All right, we're gonna look forward to that recipe. I tell you what, look at the if you need directions to where that recipe is, just look at the description of this program. and you'll be able to follow the link and be able to get that recipe. So there you go. Tomorrow on the big program, Dr. Terry Adair is with us. Dr. Terry Adair is with us. He's got 2 books out there, Where Are the Little Green Men and Earth, the Goldilocks Planet. Dr. Terry Adair is a scientist who is asking the question, where are all the aliens, despite disclosure?
Okay.
So the Fermi paradox, that's what I was going to say. Those are the words I was looking for. Much along the lines of the Fermi paradox, which asks, where are all the aliens? Dr. Adair is not a skeptic.
Okay.
He is a believer. He does believe that aliens exist. But unlike the Fermi paradox, he believes that everything has to do with energy. Sound interesting? Sound like a different theory? We'll talk about it tomorrow, right here on the big program. So there's a lot to do with energy transference and how aliens will get here.
Okay.
It's a very interesting program. It's a very interesting couple of books, too. It's got a very interesting theory. The Adair, it's called the Adair hypothesis. That's what it's called.
Okay.
Adair hypothesis. But it's an interesting hypothesis indeed. But he ties ties everything into energy and how an alien would appear before us. Interesting stuff. All right, so that is tomorrow. A couple of notes before we leave you. One, again, make sure your Darkness Radio Apple app is updated and you have it on your Apple device so that you can get everything Darkness Radio. 2, be sure to support the show. Go to darknessradioshow.com, go to the store, and pick up some swag, whether it be True Crime Tuesday swag or Darkness Radio swag. It is all there and ready for summer. We've got summery items up for you, including a rocks glass where you could have one of those delicious cocktails that Mallie's talking about right out of a Darkness Radio rocks glass. My gosh, that sounds wonderful.
It's tasty.
I'm telling you. Also, if you're enjoying what you're listening to, you can also enjoy it on video. Go to the original Darkness Radio on YouTube and watch the video of this particular program. And when you do so, please give us a good review, rate and review, and also subscribe over there as well. All right, that'll do it for today. Again, join us tomorrow for Dr. Terry Adair and the Adair hypothesis and where are all the little green men. We'll see you tomorrow, right here on the best in paranormal podcasting. This is Darkness Radio.
For more audio and video archives of the show, intriguing content, fun events, and cool swag, check out darknessradioshow.com. The executive producer of Darkness Radio is Troy Palmer. If you enjoyed today's program, please make sure you like and subscribe. This videocast is copyrighted for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this videocast, including audio, video, descriptions, or accounts of today's show, is prohibited without the consent of Darkness Radio Management. Thank you for watching. And join us tomorrow for Where Are All the Little Green Men with Dr. Terry Adair.